everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I can't believe it's already the end of January 2023, and it's that time to do kind of a recap of what I colored in January, and I'll throw in a few work in progress pages that I'll share with you as well. So first of all, let's start off with these printed pages that I printed on cardstock. These are printed on Nina cardstock. That's one of the types of papers that I like to print on for PDFs and whatnot. It's just better quality paper than the Amazon Create Space paper. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with my buddy color group that I have for Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces. So these are the 3 pages that they chose. Actually, it was me. It was my turn to choose January pages. So these are the pages that I chose. Normally they do 2 pages for the month, but I can't remember what the circumstances were, but we did 3 pages in January. I think it was because quite a few of the girls had already colored some of these pages that I picked, so I threw in another one. That's right. Okay, so these were the 3 pages from Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces, the mini book. So one thing that I wanted to talk about with that is I started off coloring in the actual mini book, but I was getting frustrated doing skin tones. Hair is not so bad, but for me, I really struggle coloring skin tones when there's a large amount of skin to do on Create Space Amazon paper. I just really struggle with that. Even when I use a alcohol marker base, it's still, I don't know. But anyway, so what I went ahead and did, and excuse me a second and I'll grab it, is I went ahead and purchased the digital version of Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces and printed it out on that Nina cardstock. And I bought this fun little notebook, just it's like a presentation notebook off of Amazon. This is the way I keep a lot of my printed PDF books or separate pages, and I really like it that way. It's a nice way to organize, especially if you have a lot by one specific author. So yeah, I went ahead and printed them all out here. I'll just quickly show you. Okay. Now this specific book only holds 48 and there are 50 images. So I had to paperclip the last 2 to the back, but that's all right. I'm fine with that. And then I have some notes here and the thumbnail pictures that go with that. Anyway, sorry, I digressed a little bit there, but that's what I started doing, and I actually find it's working out very nicely for me for these Hannah Lynn PDF pages. And of course, these can be found on her Etsy webpage, her Etsy site. Okay, and so let's go on to the next one. I have 2 more PDF pages here that I did in the month of January. And this one is by the lovely Yana Prosperina, and it is titled Frost Fairy. Now, this one is from her, I wrote it down on the back, from the Magical Season book that she has. I believe there's a printed version as well as the digital version on her Etsy site. And this is the digital grayscale version that I purchased and downloaded on her Etsy site. So I used Neocolor 2s for the base of this page for her skin as well as her cloak and her dress. So it did make the paper warp just a little bit, but if I put it in between some books for a couple of days, it'll flatten right out. I just haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. But I used gelatos for the background, and I'm really loving using gelatos right now. They are such a joy to work with, for me anyway. So also I added some really pretty stickles to the snowflakes. I don't know if you can see it there. And of course I used Prismacolors on this page. Okay, and the last PDF that I worked on this month, actually, no, I worked on 2 more, but they're work in progresses, so I'll show those at the end. So I thought I'd start off with my completed PDFs first. Okay, so this one, oh my gosh, I am so proud with how this turned out. And this was a tutorial that I followed by the lovely Karen over at Art by Karen Valentine. Now, if you don't know who she is, or if you are not familiar with her channel or her work, I'll put a link down below, but she just amazes me with her talent. And I consider her tutorials to be like a master class for coloring, because I pretty much know the basics, but every time I watch or color in her tutorials, I'm constantly learning new color combinations or new ideas or techniques. And so I'm really in love with how this page turned out. I really took my time. I mean, it took a few days to do this page, and it's time well spent. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So like I said, I will leave a link to her channel, and you can check out her tutorials. So that is that for the PDFs. Now we'll go on to the coloring books, and I'm trying to eventually finish Seasons. I'm going to try to do about 2 color alongs per month out of this book, and January was no exception to that. I did put out 2. I barely made it with the last color along, but these are the 2 pages that I had as far as color alongs from this book. And both are using Prismacolor pencils and lots of Posca. This one has a Distress ink background, and I actually was kind of on the struggle bus with this one. At the beginning of recording the video, I wanted to try the masking fluid, and I was going to go over how to use it and everything for that color along or / tutorial, and it was just not cooperating with me, and I got really frustrated and a little bit salty with this page, and I had to just leave it for a couple of days because I lost interest in it. And then just a couple of days ago, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and finish that page, and it's gonna be fine. And I am happy with how it turned out. So yeah, both of these very beautiful pages for the winter pages in the back of this book, Seasons. And yeah, so for February, I have a buddy color page out of this book as well, and I'm gonna just share it with you. It's this page right here. So I'm kind of pondering whether or not to make it into a color along. So kind of thinking about doing a color along in February for this page. We'll see. Let me know below if you would be interested in a color along for this page. All right, so the next book that I colored out of is this Fairies, a coloring book for grown-ups and all ages by Molly Harrison. And I absolutely love this book. I've only got one page done in it so far, and it's this page here. I got this book for Christmas, so I guess, you know, if I've only got one page colored in it so far, that's just fine. That was just a month ago. So anyway, this is a tutorial on my YouTube channel. If you're interested, I'll put the link up there on the screen. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. I used Distress Inks as a base for the stone wall here, Prismacolor pencil work, and the background is in gelatos. So I'm really happy with that one. I just love doing these pages. Now, as I was saying before, I do not like to do skin in these this Amazon printed paper books, but when it's small, you know, relatively small areas for skin, I'm okay with it. You know, it just takes a little bit more work, a little bit more blending to achieve the effect that I'm looking for. But big portraits with a lot of skin, no, I pretty much stay away from that. So anyway, I was just throwing that out there. I don't know. I digress. So the next works that I did out of was the other Molly Harrison book that I got for Christmas. It is The Enchanted Fairy by Molly Harrison. Now this one is a grayscale book, which is kind of something I've been just kind of dipping my toes into just a little bit. I am really enjoying it though. I stayed away from grayscale for a long time. It was kind of intimidating to me. I didn't know how to approach it, but I'm kind of, you know, actually really liking it because I feel like, you know, the shading that's already in there kind of does the work for you and kind of guides you. And yeah, so this is the page that I did out of this book. And this one, I think I used Spirifarbens. Yes. So Spirifarben pencils. And I really do enjoy those pencils. They are a budget brand pencil, but they work great in these Amazon printed books. And I based the color with my Ohuhu markers. I did a heavy gelato background with multiple layers. And yeah, I am loving how this one turned out. So, very happy with that one. And let's see, I did, of course, my speed coloring videos this month. I try to do 2 of those per month, speed coloring mandalas. And one of the pages, okay, it's this one right here. This was a speed coloring mandala page. I think it was the last one that I did for the month, and I used my Stettler double-ended markers as well as what was it, Pentel Sparkle Pop for, I don't know if you can see the fun gold Sparkle Pop gel pen in there. I love to throw the gel pens, the sparkly, glittery gel pens in there. It just adds such a nice effect for mandalas. And incidentally, if you haven't checked out my how I tackle mandalas, I think it was titled Mandalas Demystified video. You should check that out. I'll put a link up to that on this screen. Just kind of helps you, you know, break down mandalas, choosing colors, and how I like to, you know, tackle mandalas and how I approach them. So that might be of some help to you. And this is the next mandala that I did out of this book. It's this beautiful snowflake mandala here, and I used a lot of Sparkle Pot gel pen on this one. See, I used the silver and blue one, but it's coming off as kind of a greenish blue, which is just fine. So, yeah, very pretty. I love it. Okay, and then the last book that I worked out of this month was this 50 Nighttime Mandalas by Camellia Angelkova. Oh, this one, I forgot to mention, 50 Snowflakes to Color, also by Camellia Angelkova. I really love her mandalas right now. So anyway, the page that I did out of this was the first page that I had a chance to color out of this book. And it was this one right here. I actually finished it the last day of December, and then it made it for my first video for the month of January. And this one too, I used my, I believe it was my Staedtler dual brush markers, or dual end markers, and the gold Sparkle Pot gel pen again for that one. And then I did one more, this very next one, which was probably would have been a little bit more appropriate for a February speed coloring video. But I just was really drawn to it, and I wasn't done with this book. After I did this page, I was like, oh, let's do one more. So yeah, the same markers, but pink colored Sparkle Pot gel pen on this one. So yeah, that one turned out really pretty. Loving it. Okay, and then I just have a couple of work in progress. So I started another tutorial kind of color along by Karen Valentine, and so far all I've got done on this one is her skin and starting her dreadlocks here. I finished this side, and now I've just started working on this side. And the dreadlocks, you know, while they are pretty easy, there's lots, oops, I was out of frame there. Sorry about that. I was, what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's lots and lots of layers. So this is just, you know, a couple layers right here. And then, so once you keep adding more and more and more layers and blending, it comes to a nice, really nice kind of a gray color here with a little bit of brown thrown in. I am just loving this page. It is turning out so nice. Now, she had this one, it came out for a Halloween tutorial. But I was like, I'm not going to wait until Halloween to do this one. I'm just feeling really drawn to doing this one. And these grayscale tutorials have been really helping me not feel so intimidated by coloring grayscales. Grayscale page. Grayscales. You know what I mean. So yeah, I've been enjoying working on this one, and hopefully I'll have this one finished by the end of February. And one more PDF that I have been working on. Whenever I feel like doing hair, I've been working on this one, just little bits here and there. And this is by Lana Green, and I think, what was it titled? Oh, Scarlet. This is another Etsy download from Lana Green's Etsy site. And yeah, I have yet to do anything but just this little bit of hair here. So I wasn't sure what colors I wanted to use for it, but that'll come to me. You know, sometimes I just need to get a feel for a page and get started on something that I know I want to do first, and that was her hair for this one. So quite a lot of pages. I think I had 13 completed pages and a couple of work in progress pages going on. But yeah, so I feel that it was a very productive month. So thank you for sticking around. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, we'll see you later. Happy coloring.